regulations, NFPA 32, which is the enforcement standard for dry cleaning plants, that's specific for dry cleaning plants. These are a few points that are important for you as employers. The standard prescribes safeguards intended to prevent fire and explosions involving dry cleaning processes and to minimize personal injury and property damage or consequences of those events. Before any dry cleaning plan is established, so if a company were to expand and build a new facility, or if a company were to open a facility in an existing building or structure, before they establish their facility, they have to get that facility approved according to the authority having jurisdiction. So they would have to get the construction of that facility, the class of the solvents that are used, and the building itself approved. If you change, and say this because in the state of New Jersey, a lot of dry cleaning facilities previously were using perchloroethylene, and a lot are phasing into use of the hydrocarbons. If remodeling or retrofitting is done, or if there are changes to machinery and equipment, all of that has to be approved and approved such that it is in compliance with the code. If the authority having jurisdiction, in this case, which is the state of New Jersey, does not approve your retrofit or your use of the new equipment and say that it's being used as designed, it could pose a problem for you where they can shut your business down and cite you and penalize you. And in many instances, if there is a situation where they feel that employees were at risk of being harmed, they would refer to OSHA, and OSHA would have to do an inspection as well.
지금 이 NFPA는 세탁소를 대한 규정입니다. 근데 지금 만약에 새로운 세탁소를 내신다거나 이퀄먼을 바꾸신다거나 아니면 여기 지금 건축에서부터 해서 지금 쓰시는 장비 그리고 쓰시게 되는 케미칼이나 등등에 따라서, 그래서 만약에 뉴저지 주에서 지금 원하시는 좀 건축이라던가 설비, 장비 등이 지금 규정에 의존하지 않는다고 하게 되면은 그러면 이제 세탁소를 문을 닫으셔야 될 수도 있고, 그리고 그 이후에 다른 처벌이 가해질 수도 있습니다. 그래서 만약에 그 문제가 해결되지 않게 되면은 그럼 OSHA에게까지도 올라가서 OSHA에서 다시 또 처벌을 가할 수 있습니다.
Under NFPA 32, there's a listing of flashpoints of solvents by class. I won't read this out. I'm sure that you are far more aware of what they are than I am. But there's class 1, class 2, and class 3. There are temperatures at which the solvent needs to be kept below the flash point so that you don't have any problem. In the first one for class 1, it's 37.8, 2, 38, 3, below 60, 3A, greater, equal or greater than 60 and below 93.4. Additionally, under class 3B, solvents having a flash point at or above 93.4, and class 4 are for non-flammable liquids.
지금 리스트에 보시는 거는 여러분이 더 잘 아시겠지만 지금 세탁소에서 일반적으로 쓰는
of these solutions, this is specific for some of the things that are important prior to you using certain chemicals. When a manufacturer creates chemical, they are actually supposed to be tested in accordance with the requirements for NFPA 30. So I say this, and in short, to save time, the importance of this to you is that those solvents are tested in a certain manner for use under certain conditions. So if they're tested and approved for use under certain conditions, you cannot use those solvents exceeding those conditions or limitations, because it can pose a problem for you. So you have to stay within the framework of the test. One last thing. The solvent supplier is responsible for certifying the flammable limits, the lower explosive limit, and the upper explosive limits under the anticipated conditions of operation.
저 지금 이거 좀 어려운 화학약품을 지금 이때까지 보셨던 그 스탠다드가 있는데 그 이상이나 이하로 유지를 하시면 안 되고요. 그리고 지금 이걸 공급하는 사람도 지금 이 발화점을 아까 레인지를 줬는데 거기서 그 컨디션, 그러니까 우리가 그 테스트 했을 때 안전하다고 했던 그 컨디션에서만 쓸 수 있도록 그렇게 공급을 해야 된다는 거를 말씀드립니다.
Okay, under Chapter 6 of NFPA 32, there are several important things. There's a list of 6 things here regarding dry cleaning machines and conversions that are furnished with one or more suitably placed nameplates indicating the following. So if a conversion, if an old piece of equipment is converted into, converted for use, say you go from PERC to hydrocarbons, there's a requirement that requires minimal allowable solvent flashpoint classification to be noted, the maximum rated cylinder speed to be noted as well, a warning that the machine is not to be operated with the solvent having a flashpoint less than the one stated, warnings that the machine is not to be operated in excess of its rated cylinder speed, RPMs, date of manufacture or conversion, and in the case of a conversion, the original date of the equipment manufacturer, and lastly, the date of manufacture, the conversion or retrofit, the original date the equipment was manufactured. So all of this stuff is to be noted if changes are made, because you have to have a record that shows that this equipment is remaining up to code and tells the details of what's going on. So that's important for you.
세탁 지금 장비나 그리고 개조가 됐던 지금 장비가 있었을 경우에는 지금 리스트에 있는 6가지를 꼭 레코드를 만드셔야 돼요. 그래서 이게 지금 미니멈 어라우서 뭐 이렇게 클래시피케이션이나 뭐 최대 실린더 스피드라던가, 그리고 뭐 이 기계는 그 플래시 포인트 이상으로는 더 이상 쓸 수가 없다든가 뭐 이런 식으로, 그다음에 뭐 그 스피드 이상으로는 작동할 수 없다는 등등의 워닝을요, 기계 장비에다가 꼭 붙이셔야 됩니다.
Okay, this part I have to read. I could not put it all down in a manner that would allow me to accurately explain it. Under Section 8.1.3.1 through 8.1.3.3, there is a listing of 4 features. So, the electrical equipment and wiring of a Type 3A dry cleaning system has to be in accordance with NFPA 70, which is the National Electrical Code for ordinary locations. 1.3.2 for stills, dry cleaning machines, or reclaiming tumblers in which solvent is ordinarily heated to greater than 16.7 degrees, 30 degrees Fahrenheit below the flash point. The electrical component and wiring of such equipment shall be in accordance with NFPA 70, and the electrical classification has to be Class 1, Division 2. So there's a requirement for an electrical classification that has a design for electrical to be intrinsically safe for the location. The electrical equipment and the wiring of the reclaiming, tumbler, or dry cleaning machines, this is under 3.3, shall be in accordance with NFPA 70 for original locations where they contain instrumentation, equipment, or controls that provide one of the following. So one of these 4 features have to be in existence. 1, features that limit oxygen concentrations to less than 8% by volume. 2, features that limit solvent vapor concentration to less than 25% of the lower explosive limit. 3, features that limit solvent vapor concentration at or below 60% of the lower explosive limit. Where automatic instrumentation with safety interlocks is provided in accordance with NFPA 69. So basically what these 3 are saying, as well as this 4th one, feature that limits solvent temperatures to less than 16.7 degrees centigrade, 30 degrees Fahrenheit below their flash point. These 4 features are saying that there have to be some safety mechanisms in place, such as the concentrations of the oxygen is less than the 8%, or if the LEL is at above 60%, the interlocks would kick in and shut the equipment off so that you don't have a fire or explosion. So basically, you have to have one of 4 recognized features in place to safeguard, as I had said in the beginning, safeguard the equipment. Sorry. That's where I wrote it down.
제가 이야기를 지금 여러 가지 규정이 있는데 지금 장비가 안전을 위해서 불이 나거나 폭발하는 것을 방지하기 위해서 지금까지 여러 가지 규정으로 해서 뭐 산소나 뭐 화학이 지금 뭐 퍼센테이지를 더한다거나 아니면 뭐 온도가 올라가게 되면 뭐 자동적으로 이게 스위치가 꺼진다든가 그런 식으로 장비에 여기 지금 규정에 보면은 우리가 뭐 불이 나거나 폭발하는 걸 방지하는 그런 규정이 있습니다. 그래서 규정을 제가 정확하게 모르겠는데
And this other one is another provision that has 4 features as well under section 8.1.3.6, and that deals with automatic extinguishing systems. The self-closing hatches shall not be required if the equipment contains instrumentation, equipment, or controls that independently provide one of the following. Features that limit oxygen concentration to 8% by volume. Features that limit solvent vapor concentration to less than 25% of the LEL. Features that limit solvent concentration at or below 60% of the LEL. Where automatic instrumentation with safety interlocks is provided in accordance with NFPA 69. And the last one is where the temperature is less than 16.7 and below the flash point. So again, the extinguishing requirements require that you have one of these features in place as well. Now this, and this is the last point that I'll make in regard to this, and I'll talk about some other things. This could be important if your facility, and let's say God forbid, were to have a fire and some inspection is done by the state and OSHA. If it is found that you didn't have the proper design and the proper approvals and you weren't using one of these features as a protective measure, and they found that you made a conscious decision to run the equipment in that manner, knowing that it wasn't designed correctly, you could be penalized severely. I'm going to go to some of the penalties